So this video is every series that we've had in the year of 2025. I know it's a few days late of when 2026 started, but we got here eventually. So if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another one, and I'll see you all at the end of the video. First, we need some context and backstory. So our online character buys a mansion. He isn't prompted to, he isn't told to, he just kind of does it. Which mansion you choose ultimately does not matter, but once you choose,
the game's failing to load assets.
Yeah, welcome.
Michael
shows up at your door mere minutes after we arrive. During our house tour with the pair, Michael pulls us aside and says,
Flying under the radar, pal. Until all this. But we got a lot of the same friends, you and me. Diamond Casino, that was you, right?
A few times.
This isn't necessarily my business, but we got a lot of people I trust that
Hey, whoa.
trust you, so let's stay in touch, yeah?
Once downstairs, Faber comes out of our bathroom and says we have a nice pool. Thanks, Faber. He is looking to invest in a company with self-driving cars. Eventually, we make our way to a payphone where Avi, the guy from the Pacific Standard job and the casino heist, warns us that we are being watched and need to take down the Watchers, the company called No Way, who created the self-driving cars. We eventually take down the company and live happily ever after. For a while.
Oh, damn!
My best friend, it's me, Avi Schwartzman. I have something very important to discuss, but due to an undiagnosed paranoid personality disorder most likely inherited from my mother, I cannot talk over the phone. Please come and meet me. I have arranged a van with a GPS that will take you to my location.
We receive a call from Avi telling us to go to a van so we can beat him. Now, there's a lot wrong with this phone call, and I'm sure you can tell this is AI, because this entire DLC is based around AI. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to figure this out. We return home and defend our mansion from the mercenaries with the help of Michael, and live happily ever after. Until this phone call.
Hello? Faber here. I heard there was something of a disturbance at your lovely home. I just wanted to assure you that that unfortunate incident had nothing whatsoever to do with me. I have nothing but the greatest respect for you and your work. I'm sure we're going to go on to do great things together. I'll be in touch soon. Yes.
But this is where our video begins. Let's begin with this phone call. Faber called us and says,
I heard there was something of a disturbance at your lovely home. I just wanted to assure you that that unfortunate incident had nothing whatsoever to do with me. I have nothing but the greatest respect for you and your work.
Which in itself is suspicious, because why do you feel the need to tell us this? But did you notice something during that? A self-driving car that just happened to roll past us. The same scene happened earlier when Avi said,
Look around. I bet there's one there right now.
While one can assume this is just comedic entertainment, I think this is a sign from Rockstar. Moving on to my first true idea, Faber's business meeting.
I am in Los Santos to hear a Series C pitch.
A Series C pitch for investing is when a company has achieved successful start and growth and are looking to make their operations bigger, so they reach out to wealthy investors in order to seek further investment. The investors thus invest heavily into the business and expect a large sum in return. You can think of it kind of as Shark Tank.
Easy peasy.
I'm out. Driverless taxis. You've probably seen them around.
He says that in the conversation that he's going for a Series C pitch, which as explained earlier, is a very big deal and involves tons and tons of money. How do you think that Faber would feel if we destroyed a company that he is, or was, going to invest massive amounts of money into? Everyone knows what people do when they lose money, and Faber is most certainly not an exception. This brings me to my next point, Faber's background. However, in the production of this video, the footage got corrupted of Mr. Faber's intro scene, so I will summarize it here. The man who introduced us to Faber is Martin Madrazo, the leader of a Mexican cartel and involved in numerous amounts of crimes. This isn't exactly a good start that a Mexican drug lord is introducing us to Faber. Once on the plane, we are introduced to him as a rich and powerful banker who provides financial services to his clients that isn't exactly legal. But it isn't exactly illegal. It is in the middle of a gray area where it's not exactly illegal, but not favorable in the eyes of the law. He runs all of his businesses through legal buildings like car washes to hide his crimes, just like what we do with the nightclub. He also hides all of his operations through people like Ralph, I don't know. He refuses to hear a word about the crimes when in earshot as to avoid the situation to please get involved. Every dollar in Los Santos moves through Faber, except for one. Ours. How do you think Faber feels being the high and mighty man that he is, doesn't have a millionaire thief on his payroll? He even has Agent 14 under him, who we see get on the plane after us. Agent 14 is a gunrunner, makes illegal weapons, was involved in multiple heists and robberies, including the Doomsday heist, has military and weapons connections, but more importantly is a member of the IAA, one of the two most powerful government entities in the United States. Even Michael mentions to us that...
You want my advice? Watch yourself with that guy. With assholes like that, it's all smiles and hand jobs. Till it ain't.
It's all sunshine and rainbows until things go wrong. And does anyone truly believe that a man like Faber would choose himself to take the blame over someone else? Absolutely not. And that is exactly the case in our first phone call and our first point. He is deflecting and trying to convince us that he is not involved because it didn't go to plan. Thinking back to our beginning phone call with Faber, we can deduce that only 7 people directly know that we own this mansion and know the crimes that we have committed. The first is us, Michael, Amanda, Avi, RAI, if you want to count that as a person, our security team, which I guess is multiple people, and Faber. Sure, other people can know we bought this mansion, but other people do not know our crimes because they are either a trusted friend or dead. When in the mission Home Sweet Home, Avi calls us to say,
But they're
What?
coming for you after what you did to them. They're outside your...
someone has attacked our mansion. This means only one of the 7 people know we live there, know what crimes we've committed, and ratted us out. Obviously, we didn't tell No Way where we live. Michael didn't tell them, or he wouldn't have risked his life to save us. Amanda doesn't know what happened, which is evident in Michael's phone call with her.
Hey, honey. Yeah, I'll be home in 10. Yeah, I was just, taking care of an HOA violation.
Sure, she has a history of small crime, but nothing that screams murder, home invasion, and mercenaries. And because she directly doesn't have the funds to get involved with this company, especially without Michael's knowledge. So that rules her out. Avi didn't rat us out because otherwise he wouldn't have told us about the home being invaded and the van that is going to kidnap us. Our AI is physically incapable of turning on us, so it's not him. Our security team didn't rat us out because not only are they putting themselves in a line of fire with the invasion, but none of them knew we were involved with destroying No Way. Which leaves Faber. He's the only one that knows what we did, who we are, and where we live. This can also be seen by completing Avi's missions without a mansion. We are not attacked when we do not have a mansion because Faber does not know where to find us. Because even Michael says,
Flying under the radar, pal. Till all this. But we got a
Pal?
lot of the same friends, you and me.
and Michael has unlimited connections to where he can find out anything. He figured out where Devin Weston, Steve Haynes, Stretch, and Wei Chang were in a matter of seconds. There is not an attack when we do not have a mansion because Faber does not know where to find us. But the most damning piece of evidence of all against Faber comes from our first phone call with him.
I'll be in touch soon. Yes.
I mean, come on, you're telling me a guy with a laugh like that has good intentions. Is Clifford alive? And if so, is he our AI? In the Doomsday heist many years ago, Lester says,
You killed that creep and his AI!
and the creep is referring to Avon Hertz, the man who made Clifford. While Avon is confirmed dead by every agency, Lester later says,
There'll be a copy of Clifford somewhere, right? Or a beta, repackaged, stripped for assets. He'll come back.
Lester says Clifford is in fact still alive and he will come back. Now, is Clifford a part of our AI at our mansion? I'm not exactly sure. There is no clear evidence to say that they are the same programming. The only thing that they have in common is that the Angel AI likes to call us daddy or mommy, and so did the Clifford AI. Now, I think Rockstar making the Doomsday heist didn't exactly have this in mind all these years later, but I think they wanted to keep it open for the reuse of Clifford if they wanted to. This would be a perfect opportunity to reuse Clifford, but as for now, we are unsure. Is there another person who could rat out our character to No Way and or Mr. Faber? I think there most certainly are other people that can rat us out, but I'm not sure if there are any that actually would. As we discussed last video, which I highly recommend you watch, we went over how our character, Michael, Amanda, Avi, RAI, and our security team did not rat us out. However, after some further thinking and help from my comment section, it is totally possible that Faber got his hands on Clifford, and when making our mansion, which he outright states,
I had
Oh,
to
cover
send
your
the
eyes,
development
Chad.
of these places, just
Who are
checking
you?
to see if everything is in order.
could he have planted Clifford to snitch on us and our actions? If Clifford is our AI, I would say this is entirely possible. Even without Clifford, Faber could have planted a virus in our AI or bugged our house to listen in on a few conversations our mute character could be a part of and overheard that we destroyed No Way. However, other people such as Mini Madrazo does in fact know that we live in a mansion right next to him, but I'm not so sure if he knows we were involved with the destruction of No Way. Same with his father Martin, and even if they did know, there is no reason for them to rat us out. After all, we are making the millions of dollars every single day by completing contact missions and robbing El Rubio. So overall, there are people that can rat us out, I just don't think there's anyone that actually did. Which actually brings me to my next point of, is El Rubio or the Duggans involved, and do they want revenge? Obviously they want revenge, but we don't actually have evidence to believe they are involved. After all, El Rubio seems to have no connections to Los Santos. He is even bitter rivals with the Madrazo cartel, who runs the city and San Andreas, who actually puts us onto the Cayo Perico heist in the first place. Even if El Rubio has connections with Faber, which seems unlikely as Faber would have no reason to seek the guidance or help from El Rubio as he is confined to mainly his island in South America. And El Rubio certainly does not have the funds to expand his business into Los Santos with our player robbing him every day. Plus, Pavel's more or less sole job is to watch the island and give us updates. I would think that Pavel would have noticed a multi-million-dollar jet landing on the island. As for the Duggans, it is actually a possibility we robbed their casino thousands of times with the help of Lester. They would love to take revenge on us, but with Faber seeing the obvious weakness in the Duggan family being under new ownership, if you complete the penthouse missions for the casino, I see no reason why he would want to be involved with them. This with a combination that they are now broke after being robbed so much, I don't think they could even afford to take us down even if they could. Is there any reason our character would leave Los Santos? I truly don't think so. Our character has taken down drug lords, government agencies, highly secure banks, police, and even a nuclear AI robot. There is pretty much nothing that our character is scared of. Except for one thing. While this is obviously a joke, there isn't truly anyone that our character is afraid of. The only reason we would leave is if there is greater money opportunity somewhere else in the world. But I mean, come on, this is Los Santos, the in-game version of Los Angeles, whose GDP is the 4th largest in the world. There is truly nowhere else on the world better for making money, especially illegally. So overall, I think there is no reason we should leave or be forced to. Did Michael move? I don't think so. Even if he says we're neighbors and thus in the same neighborhood, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Yes, Michael made a lot of money from the big score, but that would mean he would have to buy 3 different houses by each of our mansions. And all of our mansions are spread pretty far around the map and not really close to each other. So Michael would have to be living in 3 different houses with his wife for each mansion to be our neighbor. So why does he say,
The game's failing to load assets.
Yeah, welcome.
Michael!
Amanda.
Michael! Yay!
We saw the house was taken.
Michael,
We were
it's
going
not
to
like
see
I saw the
gift
trailer or
baskets,
something.
but we thought since we live on the same side of town, we should just stop by.
I'm not really sure, probably just to make it easier than saying, hey dude, I know who you are, want to smoke a cigar? Did the story mode trio stay in touch? At the end of the 3rd way in story mode, the trio have this conversation.
So now what?
Now we keep a low profile and get on with our lives.
As friends?
Well, do I have a choice?
No, not really.
All right then. As flawed, awful, totally uncomfortable, and poorly matched friends. Absolutely.
Oh, that's perfect. Then we can get back to the kind of capitalism we practice.
Shit, I don't know how much more better that is than Devin's con.
Ooh, hypocrisy, Franklin. Civilization's greatest virtue.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
I know, I still hate myself. But hey, at least I know the words for it now.
Yeah, but I hate you, and I know the words for it. So does that mean I don't have to go to therapy?
Look, man, you 2 motherfuckers terrify me of that middle age. I'm good.
You're right to be afraid, Franklin.
Yeah.
Be very afraid, Franklin.
The trio obviously have some tensions after the events of the story mode, but they are bonded by the trauma they have faced, or what would be trauma to a normal human being, so this grew them closer together. Trevor opens the opportunity to still remain friends even after Devin's death. Michael makes a sarcastic remark, and Trevor is like, yo man, you're stuck with me, suck it up. And everyone drives off into the sunset, not saying very much, as if they were going to stay in touch.
They never said a final goodbye or I'll see you in the future, they just left, like they were going to see each other later that day. Now in the present GTA Online universe, Michael is retired officially and making movies. Franklin is the co-owner of our character's agency, and believe it or not, we actually know what Trevor is up to. If you listen closely in the Hangar DLC, Ron says this.
That bastard Trev. My best friend? Oh, he's supposed to protect me forever? Then he goes all Vinewood on me. He's too important for Ron now, but he's a guru. He's a lifestyle coach. I don't know what he is. I bet he's got abs.
He quote-unquote went Vinewood and abandoned Ron. First of all, that's really crappy for him to do. But secondly, he's seemingly moving on with his life and with all the money that he made after the big score. But as for them staying in touch, the only time another main character was mentioned by another character was in a contract DLC with Franklin when we go through the movie studio.
Man, shit, I know one of the producers around here. I hope his ass ain't at work today.
Does this mean they stay in touch? Maybe. Or it could be Franklin seeing Michael's movies and knowing he works there because his name is still in the credits. So overall, we don't know if they stayed in touch, but there's evidence on either side to suggest their argument. Does Mr. Faber deserve to die? Or could we scare him into leaving us alone? I'm going to leave this one up for you all in the comments. But I spoke about how we destroyed Clifford and there were no remaining major pieces of him left. However, Lester does mention,
there'll be a copy of Clifford somewhere, right? Or a beta, repackaged, stripped for assets. He'll come back.
While I also said we do not know or hear anything of him since then, that was actually a lie. I did not know it was until I read my comment section, but Clifford is in fact still alive. We are going to be looking into Clifford's remaining existence and try to determine where he is and who can use him or is using him. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video, and let's get into it. So, according to Agent ULP, who is a high-ranking member of the IAA, tells our online character in his missions, also known as the Paper Trail, states that, let me tell you something, Agent, this would never have happened on the agency's watch. Avon Hertz has been dead for nearly half a decade, his company dismembered, his assets seized, but oh no, not on the FIB's watch. They've been collecting leftover Clifford tech for years under the guise of national security, and all the time selling it to the highest bidder, Mason Duggan, of all the assholes who were going to bring this civilization to its knees. Now, before we dive into this quote, we do have to remember a few things. The first of which is that ULP will exaggerate the failure of the FIB to dispose of Clifford greater than it possibly is due to him being in a rival agency. 2. Clifford is not as strong as he once was due to being destroyed and split into pieces. And 3rd, Avon is dead. There is no doubt about it. So without the man who created him, Clifford is limited in his power and his growth. However, in this quote, he mentions that the FIB collected all of the leftover Clifford remains and sold them to the highest bidder, that being one Mason Duggan, the younger brother of Thornton Duggan, the current owner and operator of the Diamond Casino. Keep that in mind for later. The Duggans were using Clifford and his AI programming to jack up gas prices so they can make a higher profit. Obviously, this isn't good for anyone except for the beneficiaries, so ULP tasks our character with taking down the remains of Clifford. But we need to explore this quote a little longer. How in the world the FIB got their hands on Clifford? It was no secret about the many explosions, bombings, and highly noticeable vehicles and events that happened during the Doomsday Heist. One can only assume that a major government like the FIB would notice such activity. Once the events were over, I suspect they sent a search team to try and recover the body and any remains of what he had of Avon Hertz, who was worth $1 billion, thus finding the remains of Clifford. Once realizing what they had, the corrupt agents of the FIB got their hands on the code and sold it to the highest bidder, being Mason Duggan. Now it is important to remember who the Duggans are. They are arrogant, hypocritical, and money hungry. They would stop at nothing to make a profit, which includes the Diamond Casino. I suspect that Thornton Duggan realized he wasn't making as much money as he could with the Diamond Casino after all of our players have been robbing him multiple times a day. So he sent his younger brother out to find other profitable opportunities, eventually leading to his deal with the FIB for Clifford. So ULP assigns our player with the task of finding out if the Duggans have Clifford, and if so, taking back the code. So we do our investigation, which is the missions in Operation Paper Trail, and in the final mission, take the code back and kill Mason Duggan. We return the code to ULP and the IAA, and all is right with the world. Until you truly start to think about it. The IAA now has control of Clifford, one of, if not, the most powerful AI codes in the world that almost destroyed the world, actually. While the code is technically under the watch of ULP, that won't stop corrupt agents from taking it and selling it off like what the FIB did. Remember what I said about Agent 14 in my first video?
Agent 14 is a gunrunner, makes illegal weapons, was involved in multiple heists and robberies, including the Doomsday heist, has military and weapons connections, but more importantly is a member of the IAA, one of the two most powerful government entities in the United States.
Keywords is corrupt and a runner. Do you also remember that he got onto the plane after us to meet with Faber? What if, now hear me out comment section, what if Agent 14 had Clifford in his pocket and made a secret and corrupt deal to sell it off to Mr. Faber? After all, Agent 14 is a high-ranking member of the IAA. It would have access to Clifford, and he is most certainly not above corruption. Once Faber has Clifford, or would have Clifford, what if he used it in the creation of our mansion? After all,
Oh, cover your eyes, Jack.
Of these places, just
Who are you?
checking to see if everything is in order.
what if our AI is Clifford? What if he used Clifford to spy on us and snitch on us? Mr. Faber is most certainly not above doing such things. But I guess the only remaining question is why would Faber do this? The Clifford AI is a powerful tool, one that can manipulate gas prices, blow up the world, and track people who cannot be tracked. He is a more than valuable asset to have in your arsenal. I suspect with Agent 14 being a possible client of Mr. Faber, Faber found out about Clifford and asked Agent 14 for a deal to get it. But this still does not answer our question of why would he do this. Well, I suspect Faber did this. If he did, it is unconfirmed, but if he did do this, I suspect it is because of our work for Mr. Faber. In the Money Fronts DLC, you can complete work for Mr. Faber, and those jobs are not easy. One of which involves us robbing multiple Felicia banks in a few minutes. Something that originally took our online character an entire heist setup. Faber realized our capabilities and realized we could be a threat to him and his business if we turned on him. So we planted Clifford into our AI and disguised it as another program so we could listen in on our characters' conversations and watch our every move. After all, Rockstar did describe our AI as always listening. So the ending of GTA Online is obviously going to be tied to the Mansions DLC, and thus Michael, which is really exciting when you think about it. But what exactly is the ending going to be, and who is going to be the main enemies? Well, firstly, for what the ending is going to be, we really have no clue. We can only speculate mostly. But we know that it's going to do something with Faber, as this is the final line we get in the Mansions DLC.
I'm sure we're going to go on to do great things together. I'll be in touch soon. Yes.
Which means Faber is going to be in it. Which then we can assume Michael is as well, since Faber mentions the trio of him, Michael, and our online character should work together.
And I didn't know the two of you were associates.
No, just met.
I don't know.
Perhaps the three of us can work together. Now that.
Oh, I don't
would
like
be
you
a
though.
dream team.
Put some pants on and maybe we will.
The only problem with this is that Michael's retired after completing the big score. He makes movies now, actually. Realistically, I think the final DLC will be one of two possibilities. The first of which is helping Faber. We do work for him and do the one big final heist, and then we can retire in our mansion. Which would obviously mean our character isn't moving to Vice City for GTA 6. So sad. But this one final job would set up our character with loads and loads of money and can buy whatever we want. Just like how in story mode, the trio of Michael, Franklin, and Trevor rob the Union Depository and have as much money to buy literally anything they want. This is what I think can happen with our online character. The second possibility would involve taking down Faber. Say Rockstar's intentions with Faber, as I theorized in my first video, which you should go watch, and we have to take him down. I think this could be the final heist where we steal Faber's money, and we would be able to retire happily ever after, just like in the first possibility. The ending would be sort of the same as the story mode, but I think most of the GTA community would be happy with one final heist in either possibility. Other endings that could happen include just doing more Faber work, nothing at all related to a final GTA heist, which I think would disappoint a lot of people. I think a lot of people want that finale heist for GTA 6, because it's not like people are going to stop playing GTA 5 online entirely once GTA 6 comes out, so that finale heist would be fun and set them up financially for a long time, even if we want to return to GTA 5. My final idea is to shoot out alongside the main three characters of the story mode, which this wasn't actually a possibility until the last year or so, when Stephen Ogg, or Trevor's actor, recently began warming up to Trevor's character again after some time. But that's a story for another time, so if you want me to dive deeper into it, leave a comment down below. I think we could be with the main trio at the end because we are friends with all three of them in the storyline, and killing all of our remaining enemies one more time, just like how they did in story mode. Now moving on to the second topic of this video, what possible enemies can we face? I'm actually taking inspiration from a comment under my last video for this one. So, possible involved baddies. Fanica Rockman, the leader of the IAA, or she is still, as far as we know, who helped us in the Doomsday Heist. Clifford, the evil AI from the Doomsday Heist. Dr. Freelander, Michael's therapist from the story mode, who actually drugged our online character. Thornton Duggan, who, as far as we know, is still the owner and operator of the Diamond Casino. El Rubio, you know who that is. Johnny Guns, who is the main enemy of the Contract DLC with Dr. Dre. Merriweather and Don Percival. And Don Percival is the founder of Merriweather, Mr. Faber, who we've been talking about for the last week, and the Ballas, who is one of the 3 main gangs in Los Santos. So I agree with everyone listed except for a few. Firstly, Johnny Guns is dead, who was killed by Dr. Dre at the end of the Contract DLC. We don't know where or what Dr. Freelander was up to since he drugged our character. He seems like the one true guy that our character just can't get at. He keeps outsmarting our character. I guess we can assume the Ballas is just every gang, because we truly messed with all of them if you think about it, but I don't think that a gang would really send all their men after one guy, who hasn't truly been a problem for almost a decade. But other than that, I think everyone's a possibility. So for Fanica Rockman, who is the head of the IAA, or was during the Doomsday Heist, her being a possible final enemy might just in general be the IAA, maybe not exactly her. After all, we do keep undermining both of the agencies, and her being the leader of the IAA means she has to do something about it, even if she does still like us all of these years later. This might also include Agent 14 and ULP, who our character gets friendly with during the events of GTA Online. Just like Rockman, they might have to do something about us because it is their job to protect the IAA from people like us undermining them. Another possibility could be the FIB, who the leader of is not actually given to us at all over these last few years. But whoever is the head of the FIB would need to take us out because, like the IAA, we are undermining their agency. Clifford, I think, will be obviously involved because Rockstar left an opportunity for him to be reused in the Doomsday Heist.
There'll be a copy of Clifford somewhere, right? Or a beta, repackaged, stripped for assets. He'll come back.
And just having Clifford reappear in Operation Paper Trail just doesn't seem like a good ending to Clifford and his storyline. While the creator of Clifford, Avon Hertz, is dead, that doesn't mean that someone can't program him and expand his AI after all of these years into the deadly force that he was in Doomsday. Thornton Duggan, or the Duggans in general, will most likely be involved because we stole millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from them from the casino heist. El Rubio is the same as the Duggans. We stole endless amounts of money from him in the Cayo Perico heist. I also don't think they want his storyline to end just yet. After all, we barely see him during the DLC. But the one problem with this is his actor is dead, God rest his soul. But I think Rockstar can make a successor to him, who is more successful in expanding into Los Santos slowly and secretly that not even our main character knows about it and becomes a threat. Merriweather and Don Percival will be a threat because in almost every DLC, Merriweather is somehow involved and we are somehow undermining their business by taking out their men or stealing their equipment. They will most definitely be involved. Mr. Faber, I obviously made an entire video on why he would want to kill us, so I'm not going to go over that here. Martin Madrazo is a tough one, because if the ending involves us pairing up with the story mode trio to take everyone out, Martin probably still doesn't like them after all these years. After all, they took his ear off and kidnapped his wife. Well, Trevor did, but, association. However, we are friends with Martin and his son Minnie in online, so this would be hard to say if he would be an enemy of us or not. So firstly, let's recap the first video. I spoke about how I believe Faber is going to betray us and our online character and become our enemy with different pieces of evidence. So firstly, let's update the evidence used in that video. So the beginning phone call with Faber was a threat.
Faber here. I heard there was something of a disturbance at your lovely home. I just wanted to assure you that that unfortunate incident had nothing whatsoever to do with me. I have nothing but the greatest respect for you and your work. I'm sure we're going to go on to do great things together. I'll be in touch soon. Yes.
Why was it a threat? Because Faber has a history of not being near crimes when it is happening or being discussed.
Mr. DeAngelis here has compiled a portfolio of suitable possibilities, just small to begin with.
Yes, there are a couple we could start with.
I think perhaps the details can wait until I am out of earshot.
But also being involved.
Just keep that cash flow moving. We need a steady, legit revenue stream. Then I get a tap on the shoulder from Mr. Faber, we mix in some cash assets off the books, and...
money laundering.
Mr. Faber says he wants you to be the boss, so hey, you're the boss.
This is an exact instance of that happening. This is a threat, and the evil laugh all but confirms it.
I'll be in touch soon. Yes.
The time between this DLC and the next is Faber getting ready to take us down because he saw how powerful and resourceful we are by taking down all of his mercenaries in our mansion. When he's leaving our mansion, he's also giving us a threat, but not directly saying it.
Meantime, if you should need anything at all, my people are everywhere.
So he is subtly threatening us without actually threatening. The next updated evidence is about Agent 14 getting onto the plane. It may not be him directly being a client of Faber as I once theorized, but possibly the IAA entirely. Think about it, Agent 14 is an IAA's main guy in their underground activities such as the Humane Labs raid and sells their old facilities for money like the bunker. What if Faber is in control of the IAA's dirty money? That would make him an extremely powerful person to have a government agency under his watch, along with the likes of Martin Madrazo and El Rubio, which is directly stated by Martin.
He's my guy. He's El Rubio's guy. Anybody who's in charge of anybody, their guy.
And lastly, there are more than 7 people who know where we live and could possibly know our crimes. This would be the likes of Minnie Madrazo, who when you purchase a mansion next to his, he will send you a text saying hello to his new neighbor. But I don't believe he knows our actions with no way, nor would he want to give us up anyway. We are making millions and millions of dollars daily by robbing El Rubio. Why would he want to cut off a solid revenue stream for Faber, who he most likely doesn't like very much? Now on to the new pieces of evidence given to me by my viewers. We see Mr. Faber in person in 2 different instances. The first on the plane with his toe shoes, and the second in our mansion in a Speedo and taking a crap in our bathroom. What do these have in common? He's disgusting. He clearly has no lack of self-confidence and no respect for us. If he respected our character, he would have worn normal shoes and not talked to us and to DeSantis in a Speedo after crapping himself. So when we are destroying his businesses, he clearly doesn't respect us enough to not want us dead. Next is Michael seeing Devin Weston in Faber. Arrogant, rich, powerful, and no respect for others. That is exactly what I would say to describe Faber. At the end of the day, guess what Devin did? He betrayed the main characters over money and carjacking missions, was introduced to us by a shady character, which was Steve Haynes, wanted Michael dead, and ultimately paid the final price with his life. Doesn't this seem eerily similar to Faber? He betrayed us over money because of cars, the self-driving cars of no way he was heavily invested in, was introduced to us by a shitty character, that being Martin, but wanted our character dead, so that all but leads us to believe that he will pay at the end of the game with his life. Even Michael, the man Devin wanted dead, seems to agree.
Well, you got his attention. You want my advice? Watch yourself with that guy. With assholes like that, it's all smiles and till it ain't.
If you think about it as well, working with Mr. Faber seems kinda odd. We haven't truly done major career-defining work for anyone since Doomsday. We robbed the casino. Yes, the Changs put us up to it, but at the end of the day, we weren't working for them. They just gave us the idea. Our MC businesses, we are the owner of. Same with the CEO businesses and the bottom dollar bounty. We don't work for anyone. Then Faber comes in and he thinks we should work for him. We do, but I don't think it's because Rockstar wants to give us another way of making money. We have plenty of those. So I think the missions tell a tale. The next part of the video is inspired by a video created by The Professional. Go check him out and watch his video after this one. But the video is called Why Mr. Faber is the Most Dangerous GTA Online Villain, How He Controls Everyone, which actually fits along well with my theory about Faber and wanting our character killed. But he describes the missions and their purpose for the Money Fronts DLC. The first mission was to recover stolen alcohol for Gay Tony, who runs our nightclub. Gay Tony is thus a client for Faber. Once returning the bottles, we return them to our nightclub, meaning Faber knows where our nightclub is, which is a huge problem because, as discussed before, he has IAA connections. And since we turned on him by taking down No Way, he can send the IAA after our nightclub in our illegal doings. In the second mission, we retrieve a car for Yusuf Amir, who runs our salvage yard, who is also another client for Faber. Once returning a car to our salvage yard, we get paid. But guess what? Faber knows where our salvage yard is too. A place where we plan robberies and other illegal activities. A place that I'm sure the owners of the cars we steal would love to know about. But there's more to this mission. The man whose car we stole stays in a diamond casino. And the only way that Faber would know he stayed there is if he's friends with the Duggans, which is all but confirmed in the third mission. The third mission involves us taking back diamonds for the Duggans and delivering them back to them. In the fourth and final mission, we deliver a painting with a bribe in it to a politician overseas, which shows that Faber has political connections even if outside the country. All of these missions show the power Faber has. He knows where our businesses are, he has power over our friends and enemies because he controls their money, being a money launderer, he knows about our crimes and his political connections. All of this makes him a very dangerous man. So at the end of the day, who can truly help us fight back against Faber? Well, we can't really rely on the government because he has the IAA in his back pocket. We can't really rely on people like Martin because Faber controls his money. And we can't rely on others that work for him because he, again, controls them and can make them hurt financially. So who will help us? I think it is a true possibility that the main trio comes back to take him down. Think about it. Michael's life has already been put in danger because of Faber. Franklin's been running his own business since the contract DLC, which is very successful, and Faber most likely has some income aspect to it. And Trevor is a very loyal person to the trio, so he could possibly make his return. While Trevor quote-unquote went Vinewood, nothing suggests he won't realize his responsibilities to the trio and come and help them, especially because we helped Trevor in Series A funding in the original heist. He may like us and come back to help. Others include Ruff, who time after time has been mentioned he's in trouble with Faber if something goes wrong, so he will most likely be in trouble when things go bad. Avi will most certainly help us if he can.
But they're coming for you after what you did to them. They're outside your...
We don't know anything about him. We honestly just forget about him after defending our mansion, but he will help if he can. Lester may come out of retirement, but it seems unlikely that he has a wife now and most likely a family. Our businesses and their associates will help us as well, because after all, Faber doesn't completely control them and their workers. So Rockstar Games, in their infinite wisdom and knowledge, decided to test GTA 6 assets in the Mansions DLC. How do you know this, you may ask? Well, dear viewer, you will have to just watch the video to find out. Make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss another video, and I hope you enjoy. So Rockstar added a bunch of unique things into the DLC. This includes animals, owning multiple properties, being the mansions, bodyguards, etc., etc. So you might be thinking, what's new? I mean, this isn't that hard, right? Owning multiple mansions, cool, but not hard. Pets, great, we already have them in the game. Bodyguards, also already in the game. Yes, you are correct, dear viewer, but it's different. The AI for the pets is not the same as the ones for Chop and all the other animals in the game. This AI is confined to an area, while Chop and other animals can go anywhere. While that might not be a huge change, this tells us that Rockstar is experimenting with new AI and pets in GTA for the new game, or GTA 6. Now maybe they already made the AI, maybe this DLC is to just make everyone happy because they keep delaying the game. I think it's both. Rockstar is experimenting with GTA 6 with new assets and AI models, but they are also appeasing their audience of GTA 5. We also need to talk about the multiple mansions as well. The change was most likely not drastic or challenging for them, but we've never been able to own multiple of the same properties before in GTA Online, so why would they start now? I think this is because they're testing how the community reacts to owning multiple of the same thing, and their possible use with multiple properties for GTA 6. So does this mean we can own multiple of the same properties for the final DLC? But I think it is more for GTA 6. Next we need to talk about the bodyguards at the mansions. I only bring this up because if you remember when we raided Devin Weston's mansion as Trevor, the AI is nothing like the ones we see in our mansion. What I mean by that is that the AI bodyguards in our mansions were, seemingly, more productive than Devin's. Our guards actually defended the mansion. Not very well, but they were alert, trigger-happy, and effective. While Devin's were just blatantly unaware of their surroundings, hesitated to pull a trigger, and didn't pretty much do anything against one single guy. Now, of course, this is all in my experience, but I'm willing to bet you've probably noticed this as well. So I think Rockstar is trying to find new AI pet models for their GTA 6 in the final GTA DLC. So another thing I want to talk about is Rockstar removing chunks of the map. Not literally, but I'll show you what I mean. This, dear viewer, is Chumash. A place most of you, if not everybody, has been at some point. But let's think back. When was the last time you were actually here in the GTA Online DLC world? Well, there was the Felicia Bank job, a few missions here, maybe here or there. But actually, let's look at the wiki. Let's see what the wiki... Yeah, that's it. What I'm trying to tell you is that the map is shrinking with each DLC. The reach our character has on the map, doing activities in the map, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, until we are nearly completely confined to the streets of Los Santos and some outskirts. Does this mean we can't go to other places? Absolutely not. But I'm saying we are slowly being more pushed towards the city. Don't believe me just yet? Let me give you another example. This is what I like to call the true desert of San Andreas. We have a mansion here, here, and here. So what's going on in here? Nothing. Literally nothing at all. Rockstar has nothing to do in this area. Well, Reed, if you have the observatory, shut your mouth. Because when was the last time you legitimately went to the observatory for any actual reason? I'll wait. I'll wait. How you guys day going? See, here's the thing. We would be here all day because there's literally nothing to do there. My point is that Rockstar is pushing us away from the cheaper and less economical areas on the map like Sandy Shores, Paleto Bay, etc., and pushing us more towards the city where the final DLC is likely to take place. If you magically still don't believe me, where do you spend the most time? Over or under this line? Every single one of you better have said below, and if you said above, you are just playing GTA Online for the first time. So once again, we are being pushed down to the city, and we can't even leave the map either. Other than Cayo Perico, we can't leave the GTA map. We cannot leave Los Santos. Rockstar is finalizing that our character is going to stay in Los Santos, pushing everything towards the city. Our properties, businesses, jobs, 90% of it is all in Los Santos. So that all but confirms the ongoing question of is our online character going to leave Los Santos for Vice City in GTA 6? The answer that I would say is a definite no. Everything we have is here. We don't even go to most places on GTA 5 map anymore, let alone to a completely different city like Vice City. We can't even leave the map except for Cayo Perico without being eaten by sharks. So my final point to this video is that Rockstar Games is testing out new assets and experimenting with our GTA Online characters and their story for GTA 6. And along with doing that, they are inadvertently pushing our character deeper and deeper into the GTA map. And my final thoughts for the video, I believe that Rockstar is deeply creating the biggest and best GTA Online DLC we'll ever see. This is going to be the final DLC for GTA Online, because if it isn't, I can almost guarantee you with 100% certainty that the GTA Online community is going to truly start rioting if they don't get GTA 6. Why do I know this?
GTA 6 just got pushed back for a third time.
Oh, hell no, man.
And it will now be released on November 19, 2026.
What was that? Jesus Christ! Shit. That's it. That's fucking it.
Just imagine if Rockstar did it again. But back to what I was saying about the next GTA DLC. It truly has to be the biggest and best to end our GTA Online character story. Someone, or something, so powerful and big that our character has to use all of their resources and connections to take it down. I believe this will be Faber or Clifford, as I have already explained before.
Mr. Faber wants to have our online character killed, and here's proof.
Avon Hertz has been dead for nearly half a decade, his company dismembered, his assets seized, but oh no, not on the FIB's watch. They've been collecting leftover Clifford tech for years under the guise of national security, and all the time selling it to the highest bidder, Mason Duggan, of all the assholes who were going to bring this civilization to its knees. But the DLC, hopefully, will bring back the main trio, bring back Lester, Pavel, Lamar, and many other characters. Because not only is it the final big DLC that will be the legacy of GTA Online and GTA 5 as a whole, but it will also be the last time some of these actors will ever be in the GTA game. Think about it. The main trio most likely will stay in Los Santos. Michael has his family, Franklin has his business, and Trevor has his newfound lifestyle.
That bastard Trevor. My best friend? Oh, he's supposed to protect me forever? Then he goes all Vinewood on me. He's too important for Ron now. But he's a guru. He's a lifestyle coach. I don't know what he is. I bet he's got abs.
And also the side characters as well. Lamar's character is deeply rooted in Los Santos, so he won't move. Lester is already retired, so there's a possibility he moves to Vice City to retire, but I don't know about that one. Pavel is deeply rooted in a submarine, not a city, and many of our other characters just have no true good reason to leave. So not only does this have to be a great DLC for the players, it also has to be one for the actors of GTA 5. And that's it for the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about all the theories mentioned in today's video. But I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!